if I didn't compromise. It wasn't a direct threat, but the implication was clear. They framed it as me choosing money over family, ignoring the fact that it was Lauren who had made this into a fight in the first place. I was cornered, and it felt like every move I made only added fuel to the fire. Lauren continued to spin her narrative to anyone who would listen, painting herself and Tyler as the victims of my supposed greed. The whole situation was spiraling out of control, and I couldn't shake the feeling that things were about to get even worse. Update 2. Not long after the family meeting, I got wind of something that left me stunned. A mutual friend casually mentioned that Lauren had already started putting down deposits for an extravagant wedding. She'd booked a high-end venue, secured a pricey catering service, and even arranged for a designer dress fitting. What struck me was how confidently she was spending, as if she already had the money in hand. That's when it clicked. Lauren was banking on me caving. I confronted her at a family gathering a few days later. In her usual composed way, Lauren admitted she assumed I would come around eventually, and that she needed to make quick decisions to lock in the best vendors. She even framed it like she was doing me a favor, ensuring the family event of the year. When I pointed out how presumptuous that was, Tyler jumped in, defending her. He said she had been under pressure to plan and didn't mean to overstep, but it didn't feel like overstepping. It felt calculated. Things took a turn when my parents let slip a detail I hadn't known before. They'd been loaning Tyler money over the years. They said they felt obligated to support him, especially since he was starting a family with Lauren. It made sense why they were so hesitant to call him or Lauren out, but it also opened my eyes to just how deep the favoritism ran. This wasn't just about my inheritance anymore. It was a pattern. Lauren's next move was taking things public, at least in a roundabout way. She started posting vague updates on social media about family greed and selfish relatives. It wasn't long before distant family members, many of whom I hadn't spoken to in years, began flooding my inbox with messages. They told me I needed to do the right thing and help Tyler and Lauren. Some even called me heartless, claiming I was tearing the family apart over money. At this point, I looped back to my lawyer. She advised me to distance myself, both legally and emotionally, from the situation. That meant no longer engaging in family debates about the money and keeping records of everything. It felt like a drastic step, but I knew I had to protect myself. My best friend, always my voice of reason, suggested I take it a step further and go no contact with Tyler and Lauren for a while. I wasn't sure I was ready for that, but I could see where she was coming from. Around this time, Tyler left me a voicemail. His voice cracked as he pleaded with me to reconsider, saying this whole situation was destroying the family. He painted it as a misunderstanding, but the underlying guilt trip was hard to ignore. Not long after, my parents echoed his sentiment, accusing me of being stubborn and refusing to compromise. It felt like everyone was rallying against me, except for a few key people who saw through the charade. Then came the most unsettling discovery yet. I found out through my cousin that Lauren had been trying to snoop into my financial situation. Apparently, she'd been asking Tyler for details about the trust, and even tried to get him to access my financial records under the guise of helping with the family budget. Thankfully, there was no way for them to actually gain access, but the thought of her digging that deep sent chills down my spine. My cousin, who'd been quietly keeping an eye on the situation, dug up something even more shocking. Lauren had a history of manipulating people for money. She'd been engaged once before, and that relationship ended in disaster when her ex discovered she'd been using him to fund her lifestyle. Armed with this information, my cousin confronted her, which only led to more drama. Lauren denied everything and accused my cousin of trying to turn the family against her. Meanwhile,